Where's a plate? Where's a plate? He's throwing gas at me. Oh god, he missed.
Oh my god, I can hear it.
At first glance, you might think this game is scary, but after playing it for a couple of hours, it will wear off on you. Dead by Daylight is a fun PvP arena type game. 4 players play as survivors in third person, spending time to repair 5 out of 7 generators. You hold the mouse button down and slowly this progress bar will go up. During this time, at random intervals, you'll hear a sound and then this little mini circle pops up. This is a skill check. You need to land the red line in this area. If you land it in the white area, then you get a bigger bonus to repairing it. Get a couple of them in a row and you get an even bigger bonus. When enough generators are powered, this will power 2 exit gates. Once you spend enough time opening one of the 2, a final timer starts, and now survivors can escape to win. During this time, there's one player playing as the killer in first person, searching for the survivors. He's slightly faster, so he should catch up to the survivor he's chasing. The survivors do have a few tricks to buy time, like windows or ledges.
Oh, I dropped.
There's pallets in specific spots that you can use to stun the killer if timed correctly. The killer can spend a little time to destroy it, otherwise the survivors can use it again to jump over. All killers have a melee attack. This puts a survivor in a hurt state. They cry out in pain and leave a blood trail for the killer to follow or listen for. Sprinting from the killer leaves scratch marks for the killer to also follow. If the survivor gets hit again, they fall to the ground. Survivors can heal each other to get them back up or heal them all the way back to normal. The killer can pick them up and carry them to a nearby hook. After a while, the survivor is killed and given to the entity. The player is now eliminated from the match. They can chance it and try to get off the hook themselves, but it's a small chance to succeed. So you're better off waiting for a survivor to come rescue you. If you get hooked 3 times, then you automatically get eliminated. If the killer manages to kill 3 survivors, then there is a hatch that opens somewhere on the map for the last survivor to escape. However, the killer can close this hatch, which for some reason powers the exit doors, but starts the final timer. If the timer ends, all survivors die and the killer wins. That's how the game mostly plays out. Of course, if you check out the forums, you'll learn about terms like looping, tunneling, and camping, which is part of the experience, but most people spend their time complaining about it. I have been on the receiving end of things like tunneling killers, and I understand the frustration, but I also had a fun time, and it will forever be a memorable moment with my friends like Brett from the Time Pals podcast. He loves this game and updated me on the changes. That's right, I played this game back in 2016 when it first came out, and for the most part it is still the same game, but it has changed quite a lot from what I remember. Back when I played, I felt survivors were stronger than the killers, mainly because the perks were too strong, like being able to sprint faster every 10 seconds, or being able to heal yourself quickly. I stopped playing because it was unbalanced. Also, the killer didn't have a lunge attack at the time. Then I think I came back in like 2019 or 2020 and played a couple of games, and the killers were killing all 4 survivors quickly and very easily. It felt like the pendulum swung to the other side. Now in 2024, I feel it's much more balanced, but I'm sure people will complain to me in the comments. Like Mike Myers? F that guy. He can instantly kill a survivor at full health. Come on, that's bull. At best, I think it should instantly down, like the Hillbillies chainsaw. If survivors could vote on which killer to ban, I will always ban Mike Myers simply because of this bull. You probably get the idea. Every killer has a special power, which gives them strengths and weaknesses. I'm not going to go through every killer, but I read through every killer's bio, and something about the Knight sounded fun. When you activate his special ability, you create a patrol path for a guard to patrol. If a survivor is in the guard's radius, then it will chase after them. I could go on, but I should just stick to what I like and dislike about the current state of the game. Overall, the game is fun. Obviously playing solo is best for the killer, but playing solo with survivors is a mixed bag. You might get players who know what they're doing and others who just lone wolf it. If you got friends, then this is the best part. Playing with Brett and streamer Boosh G4 TV was some of the most fun I ever had in a video game in a long time. Of course, it made things easier being able to communicate through Discord, which as a solo player you don't have. There's no text or voice chat during the game. Brett and I would be able to call out where where the killer is and where he is running to. Sometimes that ends up happening. A survivor is being chased and will run towards survivors, hoping the killer will change targets. When playing the killer, I do enjoy the gameplay of chasing a survivor and making small decisions like, do I stay right behind the survivor or switch directions and try cutting them off? It's a constant minigame of cat and mouse and figuring out the best way to catch the survivors. I will say, after playing many games, it does start to get stale. I found myself playing 3 or 4 games before thinking of something else to play. I would either switch to playing survivors for a bit, or I just completely switched to a different game. Still, it is a great game, but you may not find yourself playing it all day. The other downside to this game is despite there being 37 survivors and 35 killers in the game, first you must pay $20 for the game, and only get 5 killers and 8 survivors to play. Everything else is locked behind a paywall. I understand they need to make their money back for the licensing fee, and they need to make a profit from using characters like Freddy, Alien, Chucky, Leatherface, and Resident Evil characters. However, it is a lot to ask someone to pay over $200 to unlock everything, and that's not including skins. I'm sure this is what's keeping the game alive, but because of the perk system, it might force some people to buy a DLC just for a specific survivor or killer perk. Let's talk about the perk system. After each game, you get blood points. You use these to pick items and perks in this web tree. Every 5 levels you unlock another perk slot. There's so many perks in this game, you can create all sorts of builds in order to play in so many different ways. However, you do need to level up each survivor and each killer in order to unlock their specific perks for the other killers and survivors to use. There's so many perks in this game, you can create all sorts of builds in order to play in so many different ways. A survivor could be good at rescuing, healing, or escaping killers. The killer also has perks for their own different playstyles. It will take you a long time to unlock all of them for other survivors and killers to use. I feel bad for completionists. Trying to unlock everything will take them a long time to complete. As for the skins, this kinda breaks the theme of a horror game when you got killers dressed up like this. I just think they should have more free survivors and killers to play. Maybe even be able to try out certain killers for a limited time. Final thoughts for Dead by Daylight. It's a fun $20 game with plenty of content for players to enjoy. It may get repetitive, so I do encourage you to play it in moderation. Don't worry about unlocking every survivor or killer, but do check out videos explaining each of them and see which ones might be interesting to you. Playing solo is obviously great for killer, but with a group of friends, it's a great time. So my final rating is an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching.